"What brings you here?" Kate asked, as she put her purse in her desk drawer and logged into her computer. Her attempt to strike a casual tone missed the mark. She kept her eyes locked on her screen so she wouldn't have to look at him. "I wanted to talk with you about Gabby Green." Kate stopped what she was doing. She shifted in her chair, finally lifting her eyes to his. "I already told you guys I had very little contact with Gabby." Alamogordo PD had interviewed each staff member at the school after Gabby's disappearance, as well as many of the students. Gabby wasn't one of the students I worked with, and I've never even seen her outside of school, so I'm not sure what kind of help you think I might be able to give. Roman looked tense and tired. "We found Gabby's body this morning." Kate gasped, feeling the bile rise in her throat. "Where?" "At the creek, about a quarter-mile upstream from the falls." He paused. Kate didn't push for more details. She wasn't sure she wanted to know, but she had a feeling he was going to tell her, so she relished the moments of silence. Once again, the past was knocking at her door. Kate held up her hand for him to stop, but Roman continued. "She was raped. Repeatedly. Brutally. The cause of death was asphyxiation, but she was beaten before she died." "Oh, God, no," Kate said, hugging her arms tight around her middle, trying to separate herself from the news she was hearing. Between her own memories, Roman standing in her office, and the image forming of Gabby Green's face, bruised and beaten, Kate felt anxiety swelling within her. "Does her family know?" "We notified them this morning." He paused. "Listen, I know you can't tell me anything the students say in here, but something about this homicide was familiar. It may be gang-related. Have you heard anything that would indicate that?" Kate hesitated. She had nothing to share with Roman, and she didn't want to give him the impression that she was a willing source of information. But she did want to help. She'd spoken to quite a few students about Gabby's disappearance and had to be very careful about the fine line she was walking. It was always precarious, trying to shield these young people without the usual aid of patient privilege. She also knew why he'd come to talk to her in particular. This wasn't the first body found in the creek. "I'm sorry, Roman. I haven't heard anything that would be useful to you." She watched his face fall. She knew that expression well. "But I would encourage students to reach out to law enforcement if they ever did tell me something that I thought you ought to know. And of course, if I suspected any student might harm themselves or someone else, I have a duty to report it." "Fine. I'll speak with Pete," he said rather gruffly, making his way to his feet. Kate felt his disappointment like a heavy cape draped around her shoulders, the weight of which she'd grown accustomed to. She bit her tongue as she watched him close the door behind him. Kate sat back in her chair, taking deep breaths and pushing aside any feelings her interaction with Roman had stirred. She would help Pete plan the school's official response. When the news became public, it would cause a lot of confusion and anger in the student population. And for the rest of the town, it was sure to dredge up bad memories.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.